What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Black Coffee and Conversation. My name is CT Minimal, along with
Rico Moore.
Yeah, we've been took a little hiatus there for a while.
And we don't have a coffee today.
No coffee, but we're out here on the Canal River here at Haddad Riverfront Park here in Charleston. It's a beautiful day, and we're just going to sit here and chop it up. So what's on your mind, Rico?
Upcoming elections.
Right.
The upcoming elections, man. We've got people running for city council. I think there's at least one magistrate spot open. There's the it's the primary election for mayor. We've only got two candidates. Democratic side. And there's only one candidate, of course, on the Republican side. So of course he'll slide through to the general. But you know, hey. We've got little ones visiting us today. Yep. And this is a good place to start, to me, is the general elections because, the elections periods, because these are the people that it affects, are the little people and the younger people.
Yep.
You know. I
agree.
You know, first and foremost, we need to get out and vote, especially the black people in this town. You need to get out and vote and make sure that your voice is heard. We are now 18 to 20% of the population in Charleston,
yep.
Which means we have enough people here to really affect this next election. Mm-hmm. And if you get out and vote and show, and you know, mass numbers, then it's going to be hard for the powers that be to ignore us. Because even though without the money, if you got the votes, then you determine who's in what position to make decisions. Mm-hmm. You know, we need to put some of us in those positions.
Okay.
Or at least people who are progressive minded, who don't go with the status quo as the way things have been going and continue to ignore, you know, the black community and the black population in general. Mm-hmm. Right, so with that being said, who are the candidates that you support so far?
Let's start with city council.
Okay.
I say I think there are 4 candidates we're getting behind. One is Reverend Hill.
Oh yeah, Lloyd Hill.
Lloyd Hill.
Definitely get out. Make sure you get out and cast your votes for Lloyd Hill. Remember, you don't have to vote for all of them. Only vote for the ones that you want in.
Yep.
I say Joe Solomon.
Joe Solomon is another one. First thing first, let's go back to Reverend Hill. What do you like about Reverend Hill?
Reverend Hill's a stand-up guy. I mean, and he's somebody that I think we can count on to get in there and make sure that the black population is not ignored. He will speak up, you know, on our behalf. And when I say our behalf, I'm talking about the everyday people. You know, he'll get out and still talk to people. He'll walk down the street and talk to anybody, you know, which is what we need.
I'll be seeing him at the Transit Mall, chopping it up, and on the west side, chopping it up with people. You know, so he's definitely putting boots on the pavement, as they say.
Right, because you know you get a lot of people who are in this position or run for these positions. You know, they've got a little bit of money or influence or name. They lose connection with the community. Reverend Hill's not one of those people.
Okay.
You know.
That's good. Yeah, he's definitely got the ear to the streets. That's for sure.
He's down to earth.
I can guarantee that. So you brought up Joe Solomon. You know Joe. I don't really know him that well, but he seems like a good guy. He seems like he's not one to go along for the status quo.
No, Joe was down for the people. Period. Joe would do what's right. Joe, he's big on the living wage. You know, making sure that people are not underpaid so that they can make enough money to have a decent living. You know, be able to afford decent food and not have to eat garbage all the time, you know. that is what Joe is for.
Not eating the 4 for $4 at Wendy's.
I mean, not eating the 4 for $4. Joe is for having for local business, making sure that the money in the community stays in the community. Joe is somebody we could probably go to and say, hey, look, the black community is being ignored. Why? And he'll go try to find out why. And he's like, if it's not right, he'll speak up about it in city council. He'll be in a position where no matter who is the mayor, if he doesn't feel something's being done correctly, he will speak up. We can go to him, we can speak to him directly, and, you know, have a real conversation about, you know, what we feel.
I like Joe. I've had about 3 or 4 conversations with him So far, he seems a real genuine guy. You know, somebody who also he doesn't seem like somebody who just kind of tells people what they want to hear.
No. He's not that kind of guy.
You know, like he's not. Well, then again, he's not a politician.
No, he's a
real.
He's not gonna tell you what they just want to hear, but he will listen to you.
Yeah.
You know, whether he agrees or disagrees, and if he doesn't agree, you would at least be able to understand why.
Okay. So who we got next on the backing?
Jennifer Farr.
All right. I don't really know her. You know her more. Well, why should people go out and support Jennifer?
Jennifer's from here. Jennifer went to Charleston High. Jennifer is down to earth. She's very smart, very business minded, but she's also civic minded in terms of she's still once again, she's connected to the community. She's not somebody that they're just gonna run over top of. You'll just be able to tell her something, give her some information, and her not go check it out and figure out if it's true or not, if it's accurate. Mm-hmm. You know, and she'll do what is best for the people overall. You know. So she said she's from it, but she said she's lived in other places as well. Yeah, I know she was in Atlanta for a while. I'm not exactly sure where else, but I know she was definitely in Atlanta for quite a few years. And once again, she's a progressive. You know, she wants to move this place forward. And when I say this place, that includes the black people as well. You know, and as much as I like to see Charleston go forward, I don't want to see Charleston go forward and continue to leave us behind, which is what they've done so far.
That's what they've been doing.
Right, and I don't want that to continue to happen, and it shouldn't happen, and we should put people in position to make sure that it does not happen.
All right, so who else we got? We got Bill Price?
Yep, I think he's in the same vein as the rest, you know.
His thing is Thrive, I think that's what it says.
Right.
I forgot what the acronym is supposed to mean, but yeah, I've had 3 or 4 conversations with him as well. He definitely is somebody who is, from what I could tell, is not on the in crowd with the people downtown, which is good.
Right.
You know, I don't want people who just want to already kind of in cahoots with some of these people that have not been doing good by us.
Right. You know, so far, listen, you guys get out and vote, and make sure you cast your vote for Joe Solomon, Reverend Hill, Lloyd Hill, Jennifer Farr, and Bill Price.
All right.
Make sure you cast those votes for sure. Don't vote for anybody else, because when you vote for additional people, it kind of dilutes the vote. Yeah. So make sure these are the people you get out and vote for.
Yeah. So. 2 mayoral candidates. We haven't really made a decision on those 2, have we? The 2 Democrats?
Not yet.
To be determined.
To be determined.
So let's talk about each candidate. Start with Andy Richardson. What's kind of his ideas?
I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, I know Andy. I think he's a nice person. I know he wants to move this city forward. I know he doesn't have an issue with trying to make sure that the black people are included in moving forward. But I'm not sure exactly what his platform is for making sure that we go forward. You know, that
hasn't really been spelled out.
Not that I'm aware of.
He put out an ad there a couple weeks ago, I think, and saying that he wants to hire more police, basically, to solve the crime. And I always say, which they're mainly going to be patrolling the west side, as we know.
We'll just say the black people.
Well, the black people, yeah. And that kind of that left a real bad taste in my mouth. I'll be honest with you. I've made this statement before. I don't know if on this show, but it's my belief. You're not going to police away poverty, and that's always been their idea. Not to say their idea, but we ain't got to police away crime. Well, why is there crime? Why are these people in this area, you know, in the more harm-crowd areas?
Well, why is the west side a food desert?
Well, yeah, but they don't invest in the people.
While the majority of the commercial space over there, why is it abandoned and not being used?
Yeah. You know, and I don't think I'm not hearing, you know, a specific, you know, plan of how, you know, we're gonna help the people over there. You know, I would say that my thing is those who need the most help should get the most help.
And I agree.
And that's not the case most times. Those who make in position of power go ahead and give it to the people who already have it instead of giving it to those who need it.
What about Amy Goodwin?
Well, I mean, Verdict's still out, in my opinion, as well. I mean, I'm not, you know, hearing that, you know, tough on crime spiel like like Andy is, which is plus in my eyes. She's talking more about doing stuff for the youth,
which I like, and tourism, which I love.
So, you know, we'll make an endorsement either or here in the next coming weeks or so, you know, on those two. And so, you know, verdict is still out, but I think, you know, we come to a consensus. But as far as we know, you know, you can't have Danny Jones 2.0 come November, which is JB Akers, right?
I haven't heard what JB has to say as far as
anything, has he?
I mean, I'm not aware of what his platform is at this point, to be honest with you. I don't want the same situation that we have now, same type mayoral leadership. I don't want that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll listen to whatever JB's platform is, and I'll make my decision from there. I haven't heard it, so I can't say what it is.
Okay. All right.
Huh?
All right.
He's at home.
And like you said, this is who we doing it for.
Yeah.
Little ones.
Little ones.
Baby Lil Ashley 2.
Yeah, 2.
2 going on 20. 2.
Man. Yeah.
All right, but
you know, and people need to understand, you can hurry up and go register and vote. People that can vote in the state of West Virginia, if you're 18 by the time of the election,
registration needs to be submitted by the 17th.
Yeah. If you are not currently serving a sentence, in other words, even if you've been to jail, felony or not, if you're not on parole or probation, you can vote automatically. If you are in jail, and you're in jail on a misdemeanor charge, or you haven't been convicted as of yet, you can do absentee voting from jail.
Okay.
So, you know, if you know anybody in jail, send them a letter. Say, look, man, you can vote from jail as long as you haven't been convicted of a felony. And, you know, if you're sitting there waiting, even if you're doing a misdemeanor sentence, send them a letter. Say, look, you can vote. Get out and vote. Think about this. The magistrates are voted on. You put those magistrates in place. That's the first person you see when you get arrested. That is the person who sets your bail. Have you noticed lately the bails that have been set? I saw a young lady receive a $5,000 cash-only bail amount.
For what? What was the charge?
For obstruction, which only carries maximum, I think it is 5 days in jail and a $200 fine. They gave her a $5,000 cash-only bail amount. She had no priors. She's from here, so she has ties to the community. These are, you know, factors that you're supposed to take a look at. Hold on. When you're setting bail. She had no priors. She had ties to the community. She had a degree and was working on a master's, so she may have already even had her master's, and she had a job.
Yeah.
So bail is not to put somebody in jail. Bail is to ensure that the person will show up and answer the charges.
Exactly.
And in the state of West Virginia, you have a constitutional right not only to bail, but to a reasonable bail. $5,000 cash only is not reasonable for the charges at hand, and given her background, history, ties to the community, that made absolutely no sense.
Now this is a black lady, right?
Of course.
Let me give you Now let's compare that. Last February, we had a couple individuals break into our office building here in downtown Charleston. We found them in the basement. They was trying to rob the place. I guess they forgot their mission. Found them literally laying on needles. Get this. The guy, there was a male and female. The guy had already been arrested numerous times, about 50 times. You know what his bond was?
What?
PR.
Yeah.
You know her bond was? The lady, $500. These people broke in, destroyed property.
Go with your sister.
But again, these were two white individuals. So $500 for breaking and entering.
Go get Jay for me.
And PR for the other guy. And this individual had already had, over a dozen
charges.
Yeah.
I can't say it's always a black and white thing with the bond, but I can't say it is always. But regardless, it's just unreasonable. You don't have to write to a reasonable bond. Oh, by the way, all these homeless people that are being arrested, you can vote. You do not have to have an address to vote. All you have to do is reside in the county. That's it.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Talk of the town is, we got to get rid of the criminal vagrants.
And by the way, when I say you don't have to have an address, you have to have an address. You don't have to have a home. You can give them the address to a shelter, assistance shelter, or a family member's address. Yeah. But you can't vote. So if you know homeless people, register them to vote as well. Yeah. These people who are making the decisions to arrest homeless people for being homeless, and to give you these high bonds, you put them in office. So get out and vote.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. They got these hybrid units, they call them. And I guess they're supposedly, to crack down on the criminal vagrants. What's your opinion of that?
Are they calling them criminals because they're vagrants, or are we talking about criminals that are vagrants? There's a difference.
How would you know they're criminals unless you go?
You got to catch them doing a crime.
That's what I'm saying. But they just kind of grab them, from what I can tell.
Well, then I don't think it's right, because that means that you're arresting them because they are vagrants and making that a criminal act.
People here.
There's a man laying right over there asleep. He's not bothering a soul.
Hopefully Barney Fife don't roll down here. On his bike.
Or whatever.
That's what these hybrid where they ride around on these bikes, so they walk around. And I think about a month and a half ago or so, they in downtown, in the town center mall, in plain clothes. You know how I knew they was a police?
They all look the same.
They all was dressed the same. Like these people, it's just the funniest thing ever. And then they had a news story, talking about they arrested about 10 people. How do you decide, and talking about that person had a charge prior or something like that? I'm like, but how did you know that? So you just came up to them? Did you know them from before?
These are the same people that arrest them for vagrancy or loitering or some shit like that. And so, of course, they know who they are, so they see them walking down the street and they grab them again and say they're loitering or, vagrancy. Or
criminalizing the poor.
But but people don't even know the history of these loitering and vagrancy laws.
All right, enlighten.
Well, they came about after slavery was ended, right? Mm-hmm. So they're called black codes, basically. Yep. And what they did was, slavery was no longer legal unless you were in the penal system. Yep. So if you were arrested in jail, you would quote unquote be in bondage. Yep. You can be used like a slave. So what they would do is they came up with these laws, say, okay, they're loitering, right?
Standing around doing nothing.
Standing around, they called it loitering, standing around doing nothing. So what they did, they enabled them to legally say, oh, there's a black man walking down the street, they'd arrest him and say, well, he was loitering. Well, how in the hell do you defend loitering or vagrancy when you define it as somebody standing around or doing nothing? And that way they could take them into bondage and make them go work for free. I mean, that's a simplified version of it, but it's true. And just because it was legal doesn't make it right. Remember, people forget, slavery was legal according to, you know, the laws of this land. Apartheid was legal in South Africa. Jim Crow was quote unquote legal. So just because it's quote unquote the law does not make it right.
And let's fast forward that to, you know, an incident that just happened a couple days ago, or the other day. I forgot what state that is. We had two black men sitting in a Starbucks. Was it Starbucks?
Yeah, Starbucks.
And they came and arrested them for no reason.
Well, they were loitering.
They're loitering in a Starbucks. But people in there all day, you know, on the Apple laptop, they're just using free Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But they were loitering. And come to find out they're real estate agents.
Waiting on the third party. They were meeting with some people.
Yeah.
So, but they arrested them because they said they hadn't ordered anything. I didn't know it was a crime not to order. I mean, they could have probably asked them to leave, but I don't know why they would ask them to leave.
You gotta understand the climate we're in and what country we're in. You know, yes, it's not a it's a crime to not order nothing, but again, some of this stuff is to be expected, unfortunately, with people who look like us.
I mean, listen,
it's not right, but we understand the system we're living in, and you know, and not to say I wouldn't go wait for somebody at Starbucks, but what I'm saying is I'm not surprised that happened at all.
That is one of the reasons it's a huge thing right now for us to get out and vote. I work in the system. I'm a defense attorney, and I'm gonna tell you what I see. The message that is being sent is, if you're black and you're shot, it doesn't matter. We're not going to prosecute them. Nothing's going to happen to the police officers. So the message sent is, you don't matter. If we mistreat you, just take it. If we arrest you, we're going to give you more time than we're going to give anybody else, because you don't matter. That is the message that's being sent from our judicial system all the way down to the street level, the regular people walking around. And the reason I say that is, if you got a cop who shoots somebody or does something to them and judicial system does absolutely nothing, then of course that's going to say to the police officers, continue to do that. If you got people like, everyday people, citizens on the street, you go set bombs at black people's houses, and they're upset because they didn't take you alive. Or if a white man is walking down the street or shoots up something, they do their best to bring him in alive.
Yeah, and then go get him a Whopper at Burger King.
Yeah, Dylan Roof.
Yeah.
They brought him in alive.
Killed it.
A black man with
people in church.
Yeah, kill people in church. And then they always telling us we need to forgive. But
not forgiving nothing.
Shit. But anyway, then you got you got issues such as a black man who's mentally disturbed in Brooklyn, New York, and does have a pipe in his hand, but you don't even attempt to talk to the man. And he's mentally disturbed because, quote unquote, according to the police reports, they knew who he was. They shoot and kill him. There's a man in the backyard of his grandmother's home. Within 3 seconds of encountering the man, you shoot him. He's got a cell phone in his hand.
But that goes to tell you, this stuff is not a mistake.
No, it's not a mistake, and that's the reason the people that we just said that we want them to vote for are people that probably would not stand up for this shit.
But also, let's
Excuse me.
I agree with that. Fine. But also, not only will they get away with it, they'll get rich. Because these people who kill, black folks, these police officers, even America's #1 coward, George Zimmerman, he got donations.
Right. Did you see that video in I want to say it's Marietta, Georgia, where the cop pulls a lady over. She's white. She's got her hands up, and he's saying, you can put your hands down, make a phone call, somebody to come get your car. She's like, I'm scared to. I've seen all these videos where, cops have been killing people, and the cop says, you're not black. Remember, we only kill black people.
Nah, I didn't. This is news to me.
You ever seen that video?
No.
Hold on.
Show me that.
I'll show it. I've got it right here. I sent it to you, actually.
Okay. I think I may have.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
But yeah, and that's the thing that you're just one police encounter away from being oh yeah.
Listen to it.
That's on Twitter.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, when you came black. Yeah, I remember that. At least he's honest.
I don't know what's in his heart.
I like my racist honest.
Yeah, I can deal with that. But, but to me, it goes beyond. I'm not going to just put this on police officers, right? I'm going to put this on our government and a message that it sends, period, about black people, about how we don't matter. So we've got to, in order to change that, you've got to change the people in positions to make decisions. And that starts with the elections. So we've got to get out here and make sure that we vote. We have too many, our population is too high in the city of Charleston to not make our voices and our demands felt.
I'm glad you brought that up. You often hear people talk about, you have to destroy the system of racism, white supremacy. Well, they talk about it's just like it's made up of people, though. So how do you destroy the system if you don't do nothing with the people?
But you are
control it.
See, you are doing something with the people, to me, because when you take them out of positions of power.
Well, that's just one aspect of it, though.
I mean, there's somewhere to start. You're taking the gun out of their hand. Now, their minds you may not ever change.
I'm not interested in changing that.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's a waste of time.
But when you're in a position where that person,
I broke it.
you broke it. Oh. Okay.
That's the Boxster Porsche.
Yeah, this is what I have to do sometimes.
It's my car.
It's your car? There you go.
So you got that
Don't touch that part, okay? But, what we have to do is put people in positions, just leave it right there, I'll fix it later, okay? Just put people in positions that, where we can at least try to even out the power structure.
Yeah.
So there are some decisions that are being made that include our points of view. So when I say, help, destroy that system, at least the way of thinking, you have to change the people who are in the positions to make the decisions. So we have to, we need to make sure we get out there and vote and make sure our feelings are heard. Our thoughts are heard and our feelings are considered when decisions are made, period.
All right. Well,
yes, ma'am.
Kind of give some final thoughts, to wrap all this up. Again, we kind of, mayoral endorsement is to be determined here at the next couple of weeks or so. Also, early voting starts April 25th. So,
Anybody in jail, make sure you send them a letter. I say jail, not prison. It means they're doing a misdemeanor, some time on a misdemeanor or awaiting sentencing, which means they haven't been convicted yet. Make sure you send them a letter and tell them to get out there and vote. Make sure. Fix it. See, she's demanding. And I want to be demanding in terms of make sure that you get out and vote. We need to make sure that our numbers are felt. If you know a friend who's not voting, make sure you say something to him. You gotta vote. She keeps saying fix it. And that's what we're trying to do, is fix it. Fix as much as we can by putting people in positions. Remember, These are the people that make the decisions. When your family or friends get arrested, the magistrate sets the bond. If it's a misdemeanor charge, that is the judge who hears the case. Believe it or not, he works for you. So vote and show him, and vote and show them, him or her, that you just can't keep ignoring us because we are the people that put you in that position.
Yep.
Same thing with city council and the money that comes through this city.
Yep.
The money that is invested in this city. We put people in positions to make decisions with that money. So why not put people in positions that are going to say, okay, we're going to make sure that that we get some of that money as well.
Yep. We definitely, our economic position definitely needs to be improved.
Right.
We have people, with two mindsets that
It's first.
For a little while.
Politics is our only avenue to go through. You got some people saying, no, forget the politics, focus on the money. I think it goes hand in hand. I subscribe to the Dr. Claude Anderson, mode of thinking. From the base is always economics to me, then politics. But with that being said, that don't mean you only focus on one. You only focus on economics. You can't focus on politics to get your economics up. No, you kind of work on them simultaneously. But to me, the economics to me is still the priority. But that's not discussion of this topic now. We can talk about that on another show. But I think they go they kind of work together. And so after we get this accomplished, then we'll go back to the money issue.
Well, I think when we get this accomplished, we help address the money issue because then we got people in positions to make sure that our city doesn't ignore us economically, politically, in any shape or form. Because if we just focus, like people want to say, just get the money, get the money. You can't get the money when the people downtown are making the decisions. Because if you get the money, they're just going to take the money. And they're not going to put you in the positions to make the real money. Yeah. So, and we're so far behind economically, we'll never catch up with that race until we make decisions.
I think we'll catch up when they cut that check.
They'll cut that check when we start cutting their positions of power. So, they don't have as much to say about where this, that, and the third goes here. But anyway, make sure you get out and vote. And if you know somebody, make sure you pass that message along to get out and vote. We're going to try to put together some buses and a couple of things to come to some neighborhoods to get people out to the polls. Okay. So if you have any questions, hit him up on Facebook because he handles all that stuff. And we'll be glad to answer any questions you have about voting and voting rights.
We'll post links as well or information when that time comes. So again, appreciate you. Another episode of Black Coffee Conversations. Sorry it's been a long time, but we hope to be doing these more on a regular basis. And if you have any ideas of things you would like us to address, reach out to us. And they racing the boxer portion into the river. It's time to roll.
And if anybody would like to participate in what we're doing, yep. As far as helping people to vote, or if you want to come on the show and have a conversation, please reach out.
Yep. Deuces.